Okay. All right, everyone. Switch on your videos. Let's start today's class.
Ma'am, 1 minute.
All right. So in the previous class, we had talked about the interphase, right? Which was the preparatory phase of the cell cycle. We saw how there are different stages during it, right? And we saw how the interphase has been subdivided into G1, S, and G2 phase. G1 stands for the gap 1 phase. S stands for the synthesis phase, and G2 stands for gap 2 stage or phase. We also saw how those cells that do not need to proliferate, that do not need to divide, they enter a period or they enter that stage of inactivity called as the quiescent stage, right? Now, quiescent stage is that stage wherein the cell is going to be metabolically active, but it will not divide, it will not proliferate unless it is called to do so. So,
can you explain what interface is again?
which one?
Interface.
Interphase. See, interphase is the preparatory phase of the cell cycle. It constitutes for 95% of the total cell cycle duration, 95%. Now, during this interphase, all the raw materials and the things that are required during the cell cycle or cell division process, those things are synthesized during the interphase. Now, interphase has been subdivided into G1, S, G2, and G0 phases, wherein the G1 phase, which is the gap 1 phase, it is the most metabolically active stage. But in this stage, DNA replication does not happen. See, before, during the cell division process, the first and the most important thing that is to be done is for the DNA to be duplicated. Like one copy, like extra copy of DNA is made in order to be, distributed amongst the daughter cells. So that is why when we talk about the interphase, the most important function that goes along in the interphase is the replication of DNA. Now the next is the S phase. Now S phase is the phase of DNA duplication. Now this is the phase where the actual replication of DNA takes place. But always remember, despite the, you can say, the amount of DNA increasing, the chromosome number is going to stay intact. Nothing is going to happen to the chromosome number. However many chromosome number this particular, you can say, process has begun with, it will stay like that. And the number of chromosome would vary depending upon the type of, you can say, cell division that is employed, whether it is mitosis, whether it is meiosis. So when we talk about the S phase, so this is the phase wherein the DNA duplication actually happens and the amount of DNA, you can say, increases. Like for example, if the initial amount or initial concentration of the DNA was 2C, so after the S phase, it would become 4C. If we talk about the number of chromosomes initially, if it was diploid, then even after mitosis, it is going to stay diploid. That is the condition, and this is how it happens. Now remember,
in the last class we did the placentation. We haven't
that chapter got completed, na students? Morphology?
Mom, that's why I was wondering.
We didn't do Solanus. I was confused. I just opened the reader and went through the recorded lecture of the previous class.
Achha, so whom was I teaching this chapter? You people?
Not our batch.
Not you people.
Start another chapter.
No, Mom.
So you people waited for 10 minutes politely. Eh?
I was gonna ask, but I thought I was the one.
Mom, I also thought that I had missed something.
All right, no problem. Good thing you didn't let me go on and on and on and on. Acha, so was it the discussion that we were going to start this chapter next?
Yeah.
You had told that either you would start this chapter or photosynthesis in higher plants. Any between those two chapters.
Amongst the cell division and photosynthesis.
Yes.
It becomes so long till it becomes okay. So we completed placentation in the previous class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now see, the next thing that we have to discuss is the fruit. Now see, fruit is the ripened ovary. Now whenever in any kind of flower, when the ovary ripens up, meaning after the fertilization is done and everything is done, then the ovary would become ripened and it will change into the particular, you can say, fruit of the plant. So the fruit that we eat is nothing but the ripened ovary. Is it clear, students? One second, let me just okay, students, can you tell me one thing? In your new NCERT book, what all topics have been deleted from this chapter? This fruit and seed is there. Can you check?
Fruit is there, the seed is there, and then structure of dicotyledonous seed, then structure of monocotyledonous seed, then semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. In that only Solanaceae that's all.
Okay, so we were talking about the fruit. So basically, when we talk about a fruit, it is a mature and a ripened ovary that is formed after the process of fertilization has been completed. Now, amongst the fruit, there are different types of fruits that are there. Okay. So if I mention about the types of fruits. So fruit, they are of three types. Okay. Three types of fruits are there, depending upon what is their origin. For example, if the fruit develops from the ripened ovary. Okay, if the fruit is developing from the ovary, then we are going to call it as the true fruit. If the fruit develops from the parts other than the ovary, for example, thalamus. Right? What is thalamus, students? What is thalamus?
The bottom part.
The swollen part of the flower on which all the different floral appendages are borne or are present. So when we talk about the fruits are of three basic types depending upon from where they are developing. So when the fruits develop from the true, you can say ovary, the ripened ovary, then we call it as a true fruit. If the fruit develops from the parts other than the ovary, such as the thalamus, so we call it as a false fruit. And then if you develop the fruit without the process of fertilization, then you're going to call it as parthenocarpic fruit. Okay. So basically, when we talk about the true fruit, so it is developed from the ripened ovary. And those fruits that develop from the ovary itself, we are going to call it as the true fruit, like I said. The best example for which is going to be mango. Second, when we talk about the false fruit, so it develops from the part other than ovary, like thalamus. Right, thalamus, the swollen part of the plant. So if the fruit is developing from there, okay, so then we're going to call it as a false fruit. The example for which is apple and cashew nut. Strawberries would also come under this. Then cashew nest. See, I'm saying cashew nut, but I'm writing cashew nest. It's cashew nut. Okay, students? Cashew nut. Now, talking about the parthenocarpic fruit. So, it is the fruit developed without fertilization by the usage of plant hormones. Acha, tell me one thing. If these fruits are developing from, like without fertilization process, are they going to have any seed? They are seedless. Why? Because seed is ultimately the result of fertilization, isn't it? The zygote that is formed, that becomes the embryo, which further forms the seed. So they are seedless fruit. The best example for which is banana. Banana can be developed by the method called as parthenocarpy. Is it clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now, a fruit is composed of both seed and pericarp. Now see. So when we talk about the fruit, so when you talk about a fruit, you see certain structures in a fruit. What all things that you see? You see the fruit peel, you see the fleshy part that you eat, and then there is the seed, the inside part that we do not eat, we throw away. So the outermost layer is called as the epicarp, which is basically the layer of the, you can say, the fruit peel layer. So it is the outermost layer. Then the mesocarp is the fleshy middle layer. It is fleshy and it is the middle part that is actually edible. This is what we eat. And then there comes the endocarp, which is the hard inside, which we throw away, right? So these are the various parts of the seeds that fruits that you see. And when we talk about the fruit, so fruit, like the covering of the fruit is called as the pericarp. Okay, it is the layer that surrounds the fruit. So fruit is clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, now remember that inside the fruit, the seed are present, right? And seed is the direct result of fertilization. So the ovule, they develop into a seed that contains a seed coat. And inside the seed, there is the presence of embryo. So in dicot seeds, such as the peas and the grams, the embryo consists of a radicle, embryonal axis, and one or two cotyledons. Whereas in monocot seeds, such as rice, the maize, the wheat, the rice, there is a single large cotyledon known as scutellum. Now see, you know that angiosperms, the higher plants, they are of two types, right? The first is the dicots, or you can call it as the dicotyledonous, and the second are the monocots. Now they differ with respect to the number of cotyledons they have, isn't it? They have two cotyledons, whereas the monocots, they have one cotyledon. And the thing is that the monocotyledon is having a name called as scutellum. Now see, inside, if we look at the seed of a dicot, okay, a dicot plant seed. So you people all have seen rajma and the chana, the rajma, kidney beans and chana you have seen. Now, if I ask you to split that chana open into two parts, will you be able to do so? What if I ask you to split open the kidney beans into two parts, like split it into two halves? Will you be able to do so?
Yes.
Acha.
Yes.
Okay. What if I bring you a rice seed and ask you to split it into two parts? Will you be able to do so?
No.
No.
No. So this gives us the very clear-cut answer. All those, you can say, seeds that you can split into two parts are the dicot seeds, and the ones that you can't are the monocot seeds. So now when you see the structure of the seed, so this is one cotyledon and this is another cotyledon. Now in between the cotyledon, there is a structure which is called as the embryonal axis. Okay, so this is the cotyledon. Both of them are, and this is the embryonal axis. Now the part above the embryonal axis is going to be called as the radical. Wait, it's going to be called as the plumule. And the part below the embryonal axis is going to be called as the radical. Now you people know that whenever you have to grow a new plant, you use the seed, you sow the seed, you water it, and it grows into a plant. So this radical part gives rise to the roots. And this plumule part gives rise to the shoot. Clear? This is very, very, very important to remember. So this figure tells you about structure, dicot, seed. Any doubts up until now, students?
No, ma'am.
All right, now you people note down.
In the fruit part, there's a it says in the textbook there's a word called droop. What does it mean?
Droop.
Yes.
Acha, see. Droop, berry, composite fruits. These are different types of fruits that are there. Understood? Droop is a type of fruit. Berry is also a type of fruit. Clear? It is like the various different kinds of. Okay, I'll show you the picture also. So what is the last thing you people note down in the previous class? What is the thing that you people noted down? This placentation was completed.
Compound leaves.
Compound leaves.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, students, we know down. But can you people tell me whom did I teach cell cycle to then? If not you guys, then whom did I teach it? Because I clearly remember teaching you people interface and everything. Was I dreaming or something?
When we were talking about starting that chapter, not you hadn't started it.
Okay, okay.
And now.
Done. Ma'am, can you zoom in the leaves?
Done, students? Done till here?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Okay, I'm scrolling down now. So now we discussed about the phyllotaxy also, right?
Yes.
So see, wherever possible, you people draw the diagrams roughly so that you people will have some sort of an idea as to, like whenever you people have these kind of questions in your examination, then in that also you have to draw diagrams roughly to explain the particular, you can say, topic. Clear?
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Yes, everyone's done till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students? Shall I scroll down?
Yeah, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Done, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yeah, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yeah.
All right. Now see, furthermore, we have up until now seen the various uh, parts of the plants. Now see, let us discuss the floral families part, because I aim to finish this chapter today. And see, students, once we are done discussing the floral families part, then however much you will be able to note down in today's class, that's okay. And apart from that, whatever will be left, I will send you the PDF of the notes. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, so everyone switch on your videos back up. So basically now the next topic that we have to discuss are floral families. So when we talk about floral families, see, in the angiosperm whole entire division, there are a lot of families that we have, like, you know, initially had to study, but now since your syllabus has been reduced, so there is only one floral family that we have to discuss, and that is Solanaceae, which stands for potato family. But before we study about the families, there are certain, you can say, technical description, right? Symbols that are associated to, you know, describe any particular part of the plant. So we are going to discuss that first. So we are going to discuss some, or you can say, semi-technical description Okay, semi-technical descriptions. First of all, if I ask you people, tell me the parts of a flower, what would you answer be? Like, tell me in terms of biology, not leaves and roots and stem, not like that. Tell me in terms of morphology.
Petals, sepals,
Petal sepals.
angiosperm. Wait, no.
Eh?
Oh, sorry, no. Gynoecium, androecium.
Hmm. Then what else? That's all. Hmm? See.
Filaments.
Huh?
Filaments.
Filament. No. What else? You have told me about calyx, that is the sepals. You've told me about the petals, that is corolla.
Corolla.
Yeah, corolla is there, androecium is there, gynoecium is there. Then you have this thing, whether the gynoecium is superior, inferior, half inferior, these things are there, right? Then you have whether you remember gamosepalous, polysepalous,
Yes.
gamopetalous, polypetalous. Acha, you people remember epipetalous stamens? Those stamens that are attached onto the petals, right? These terms should be in your mind. Acha, apart from that, do you remember this thing? Acha, what is a perianth? What is a perianth? No one. See, you remember we were talking about how the single unit of this thing, calyx is called as sepal, single unit of corolla is called as petals. But there are plants in which you cannot distinguish between the sepals and the petals. So we call them as perianth. So a single unit of perianth was called as? No one is studying. Eh? Single unit of perianth is called as a tepal. Okay. So now we have certain symbols wherein the BR would represent a bracteate flower. What is the meaning of a bracteate flower? It is a flower that has a bract present. Same way, when we write about EBR, this is called as ebracteate, meaning here the bracteate, the bract is absent. Okay, bract is absent. Then the K stands for calyx, the C stands for corolla. Then we have P, which stands for perianth. Okay, P stands for perianth. Then the sixth one, we have androecium, right? That is represented by capital A. So androecium is written as capital A. Then we have 7, that is gynoecium, that is written as capital G. Gynoecium. Okay, so that is capital G. 1 second. So we have capital G that represents the gynoecium. Okay, now further this, 1 second students. So, yes, G stands for gynoecium. Now, further, when we talk about this gynoecium, there were 2 situations. Whether the gynoecium, if the gynoecium is superior, then you'll put a line below it. If the gynoecium is inferior, you'll put a line above. Okay, so that is your different types of gynoeciums that are there. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this one represents superior ovary. Okay, whereas the second, this one would represent inferior ovary. Is it clear? Now we have also studied about the symmetry of a flower. So when you draw this particular sign, that is sort of like a plus sign surrounded with a circle, then that represents actinomorphic flower. Okay, this represents actinomorphic flower. And when you put a percentage sign, so that represents a zygomorphic flower. Now quickly tell me, what is actinomorphic and what is zygomorphic?
Actinomorphic is a flower, is the type of flower that can be divided radially. It's and then zygomorphic is bilateral.
Very good. That's exactly. So radial symmetry is actinomorphic and bilateral symmetry is zygomorphic. These points are clear to everyone. Now, okay, one more thing. Like for example, if there are brackets present, like this parenthesis, this represents fusion. Okay, this represents fusion. Okay, and this represents attachment. For example, if I want to show that the androecium is attached onto the petal. Okay, so it is epipetalous. So I'll write androecium, I'll write corolla, and then this. This represents that androecium is attached onto the corolla. Is it clear? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. So let us see this particular thing. So the family that we have to discuss is the Solanaceae family. Solanaceae, which is very commonly called as the potato family. Okay. It is called as the potato family. So when we talk about Solanaceae, so now if they would ask you the floral formula of Solanaceae. Okay, so they can ask you this directly. They can ask you, and one more thing, students, this particular word CEAE, whenever it is used as a suffix, you read it as C. Okay, so don't go like Solanaceae, no, it's Solanaceae. Clear? So now talking about the floral formula, so it is something like this. Acha, one more thing. 11th is here, so I'll write 10th over in 12th over here. See, this is the sign of a male flower. Okay, this is the sign of a female flower. In general, also not flower. In humans, also this is the sign used. And then when you have to represent a bisexual flower, a flower that contains both the male and the female reproductive parts, then this is a bisexual. Is it clear? So now writing about the floral formula of Solanaceae. So we have this. Okay, now can you see this floral formula right in front of you, students? Okay, now let us decode it one by one. Now you people have seen all the symbols that are used. So let us decode. So the first symbol, what does it tell us about this family?
It's attached. Sorry, it's asymmetric.
It is actinomorphic.
Sorry,
it's radially symmetrical. Okay. So first thing tells us that it is actinomorphic, right? Second, what does this tell us?
Bisexual.
Yes, that they are bisexual. Okay. What about this?
Calyx.
So how many calyx are there?
5 fused.
5. Very good. 5 fused calyx. And then 5 fused
corolla.
Same. What would you like to say about the androecium?
It's attached to the corolla.
So androecium, 5 in number and epipetalous, right? Because it is attached onto the petal. So it is epipetalous. And what would you like to say about the gynoecium? Is it inferior or superior?
Superior.
Very good. Superior ovary. How many of them are there?
2 fused.
2 in number, and they are apocarpus or syncarpus? Fused carpels are known as apocarpus or syncarpus.
Syncarpus.
So they are syncarpus. Very good. This much is clear to everyone, students. Is it clear to you? This thing, Aisha and Sanidhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sure. You people have understood what each of the particular symbol in the floral formula says. So first we had the symbol of the symmetry of the flower, right? Which is actinomorphic over here. That means it is radially symmetrical. It means that any plane passing through the central axis would divide the flower equally. Then it is bisexual, meaning the male and the female reproductive parts are present in one flower only. The third symbol, the K, represents the calyx. Single unit of calyx is sepal, right? How many of them are there? 5 of them. And what did I tell you? When there will be a parenthesis after the number. So meaning when the number will be in the parenthesis, that would represent that this particular stuff is fused. Right? Fused means present together, not freely present. So the calyx, they are 5 in number and they are fused. Then we have corolla. Corolla is the petals, right? So single unit of corolla was the petal. So when we talk about the corolla, so it is 5 in number and they are also fused. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then moving on to the androecium, which is the male reproductive, you can say part of the flower. It is 5 in number. It is not fused because there is no parenthesis, but you see how that line, that arch that is there, that represents that the male reproductive part is attached onto the petals of this particular plant family. So we call it as epipetalous. And how many of them are there? 5 and not fused. Last thing is the gynoecium, which is superior because we have put a line below the G. That means it is above the line, so it is superior. How many of them are there? 2 of them are there. But you see the parenthesis. So again, it would mean that it is a fused kind. So we will call it as syncarpus. Is it clear to everyone? All right. Okay, now you people note down the rest of it. Just give me 1 second. Modification of leaf was done, right? Inflorescence. Done, students?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students?
No, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, done now. Done, ma'am.
Done, students? Done till here?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. Okay, students. So we'll